Today, I want to talk about my first 90 days as an insurance agent. Now, before I go into the details, let me just introduce myself. I'm Prince Donnell. I've been a licensed agent for the past 10 years. I'm licensed across the country. I started out working at TD Bank, and then I moved to Wells Fargo, and then ultimately became an independent agent. So I was never a part of a major IMO like WFG, PHP, FFL, or Primerica. I've always worked either in the financial banking world or moved independently. Now, from that point, I went and started Jumping Jack Tax after I left the bank, and I went into tax and accounting, and I launched a franchise where we have 20 franchise locations across 6 different states. And then I said, you know what, I want to go back into the insurance space after I left the bank, and my license ended up lapsing. I got my license back, went independent, started Jack Life Insurance to complement my tax and accounting practice. And from that point, the life insurance business ended up blowing up. We did amazing. And I want to talk about what my first 90 days were, what it looked like when I moved independent and actually relaunched my agency. Okay, let's talk about your first 30 days if you're brand new. Okay. So in your first 30 days, I think it's important that you learn the skill set of sales, you learn the industry, and you build out your script, okay? Learn the skill set of sales, learn the industry, build out your script. That's all that matters. I say this to you because I find that many life insurance agents, which as of today, we coach over 650 life insurance agents, provide them with leads, sales scripts, CRMs, and many of them who come to my organization, they don't know how to sell. Because when you got your license, it gave you the ability to legally offer life insurance, but you don't know how to sell it, right? And sales is a skill set. It's not something that you just magically understand and learn. And even when you're on the phone talking about life insurance, it is a sell. It's why 50% of America doesn't have insurance today. They have to be sold and influenced into getting life insurance, something which is good for them. In my first 30 days, I learned sales, and I'm going to share with y'all 2 books that I read that's going to be able to help you on the sales side. The first one is called Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. And the second one is called Influence by Robert Cialdini. Okay, these 2 books helped me. Way of the Wolf helped me understand the straight line sales system, right? And it began to emphasize why I needed a sales script, how to overcome objections, what was the purpose of the call. And I began to use all of the notes from that book to be able to help me with my insurance sales. And then I read Influence, and through Influence, it teaches you how to, of course, influence through yourself and through your words, but how to influence others as well, because that's important when we're in telesales talking about life insurance. So those 2 books alone, study those in your first 30 days. Is going to be a game changer for you. Okay. Here's the next part that I found important. Read the entire product line of the carriers in your first 30 days. I only chose 2 carriers, okay, that I went with. I find that a lot of agents are choosing 10, 15 different carriers to work with. And I'll be honest with you, you know how hard it is to understand the product lines and the underwriting guidelines of 15 different insurance carriers? It's really hard. I chose the main 2 to me that I felt pretty much could get almost everybody approved, no matter if they were in full health or, have diabetes, okay? And with those 2 carriers now, my only goal is to learn as much as I can about their product lines. Okay, so one of the carriers, let's use it as an example, of Mutual of Omaha, they got like maybe 10 different products. So I decided to study every product and understand what was offered, what were the age ranges, what was offered, what was the age ranges, why does this matter, what's the period of time between when the application is submitted versus when it gets approved, what gets denied. I studied these products in this first 30 days because I want to be an expert in it. Don't be the agent who gets your license, get contracted with the carrier, and then you hop right out there and you don't know anything. And I meet a lot of agents that way. They're like, hey, I only sell property protection. I'm like, well, do you only sell mortgage protection because you haven't educated yourself on the rest of the products, or that's your lazy way out, and many of them are like, nah, I just don't know anything about the rest of the products. That's a problem, right? You're a financial representative. And when I saw that about myself, I said, I got to learn everything because I don't want to be handcuffed to one product line. It's kind of like McDonald's only being handcuffed to a burger when they could sell fries, right? You don't want to do that. So with that, learn everything about the product line and choose 2 carriers that could pretty much work for all of the clients that you have. The next part to that is read the entire underwriting guidelines of those carriers. So now that I understood the products, I wanted to understand underwriting. Okay, I wanted to understand what were the weight classifications, what are the body mass index, right? What's the metrics that are associated? What are the different targets that the underwriters go through? What would automatically deny somebody? What's the ideal person that the underwriter would approve? What type of medications would automatically deny someone? I want to understand everything about underwriting, because through that, I'm able to make better assessments with my clients on the phone up front. I'm able to qualify and understand, hey, you be a great fit, or already qualify and say, hey, it makes no sense to put through this application because based off of what I know, you're not going to get approved. That saved me so much time, right? Imagine being on the line for 45 minutes with a prospect, and then literally at the end of the 45, it gets denied. But you would have already known that had you just studied the underwriting guideline. So through me doing that, it saved me a lot of time and headache, and prevented my back-end underwriting process from going crazy, and my persistency rate, right? Which is important. If you don't know what persistency is, it means that the amount of policies that you sell, how many of them stay on the books, and how many of them lapse, or really either don't even get approved to begin with. You want to measure that. Read the entire underwriting guidelines of the carriers. The next part is review your comp plan to know how to maximize. So after I got done studying the products, then I studied my underwriting guidelines, and then I studied the comp plan. I want to know what's the max comp plans, what products provide max, which one, like I want to, and I had a whiteboard set up breaking down every product and what the commissions were for each one. Okay, it gave me a better understanding of how I'm financially compensated through helping my clients. Okay, so read your comp plan to make sure that you have the ability to maximize. Now, of course, if you're with an IMO, then you're going to have to maximize the comp plan based off of the IMO, right? Which I don't know if that could be good or bad. With me being independent, my comp plan was tied to the actual carrier itself. Okay, here's the next part that you want to do in 30 days. And here's what I did. I built out my own sales script. Okay, I did that in the first 30. Now remember, I'm not getting on the phone with anybody yet. These are all the things I'm telling you to do now based off of what I've done. I built out a sales script because I knew, based off of when I read Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort, he said I better not get on any call until my sales script is ready. And in that book, he taught you how to design out your own sales script. And I did that, and I said, okay, I'm going to get the sales script. And now my goal is over these 30 days to practice this sales script as much as I can in the mirror, out loud, talk to friends, family members, and just call them and practice this thing. And from that, now I want to get proficient and efficient when it comes to that sales script and knowing how to utilize it. And then the next part is, here's the last two things. You wanna, and this is what I did in the first 30 days. I practiced the e-app at least 5 times a day. So I would go inside a mutual of Omaha or another carrier, and my goal was to practice this e-application. I want to go from top to bottom, all the way down, every time. And I want to know at what areas are the most questions asked, at what areas is there confusion, right? At what areas, and then what based on the product that Mutual of Omaha offers, how fast is the e-app when it comes to a Term Life Express or a Term Life Answers? What about a drop ticket? What about, now I'm understanding this. So now I know if I got to go Term Life Express, it's going to take about 30 minutes. I know if I do CWL, it could probably take me 15. So I'm going through the e-apps and I'm making sure I do it, because again, when I'm on the line, my goal is efficiency. I can't be on a call with the client for 2 hours. Right. And that's why I was able to sell a lot more policies, probably more policies than most agents across the industry, was because I made an efficient process to get in and out of the transaction with the client as quickly as possible. Part of that came from me maximizing and practicing that e-application every single day in my first 30 days. And then the last part to that in your 30 days is you want to buy a policy on yourself. For 2 reasons. Number one is because you're not going to have a good understanding of how your product works unless you bought the policy. Because now you can get on the phone with high levels of conviction and say, hey, I'm selling you on this term life policy because I have one myself, and let me break down how it works. That conviction alone is just like, that's going to allow you to close a lot more deals just by you having the products on yourself. I mean, why would you trust somebody? That's like It's like a chef who doesn't eat his own food, right? Like you would never eat their food. Like, why don't you eat your own food? So buy the policy on yourself so you can have conviction when you're on the phone. But the second part to that too is that you want to understand the customer journey that your prospects are going to go through. So you may not have known, if you didn't go through the e-app process yourself, that they were going to get an email, a HIPAA email that they're going to have to sign. And then in order for them to sign it, it goes to their email. Then they got to click a button, then click another button. And if you never did that, you're not going to be able to properly direct them on how to do it, which means you're going to be on the phone for 2 hours, as opposed to me saying, hey, I did this before, click that button, click that button, click that. Yep, you're done. There it is. And then, all right, here's how you sign. Do this. All right, put your city and state right there. Boom, done. So write an e-app on yourself. And when you're writing the e-app, write down every single piece of the process so you can have it when you're on the line with the prospect and walk them through the stages if they get stuck. Okay, that's what you want to do in your first 30 days. So number one, you want to, in your first 30 days, you want to learn the skill set of sales. So read Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort, Influence by Robert Cialdini. And then you want to read the entire product line of your carrier that you choose, all the products that they offer. And then you want to read the entire underwriting guideline of the products and the carrier that you're associated with. And then next part, you want to review the comp plan, build your sales script, and you want to practice the e-app 5 times and then buy a policy on yourself. Now with that, let's move into 60 days. Right now, that was my first 30 days. I didn't sell a single policy in 30 days. I wanted to focus on that. Now moving into my 60th day, here's what I did here. In that 60 day, here's what I have. I filled my pipeline as quickly as possible. And then I went through as many calls as I could, volume. And then I experimented and I listened to as many sales calls. But let me break down what I mean by that, so you have a real idea. So the first thing that I did was I said I need to have now that I'm on my 60th day and I practiced over 30 days, I need a reputable lead vendor. Now, I actually became my own lead vendor because I learned how to run ads on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and how to produce leads. As of today, we probably produce well over 50,000 leads in the past 12 to 18 months. So I'm a master at knowing how to produce leads and how to run advertisements online. So I started to practice that, and I was able to start producing leads automatically. Now, if you don't have that skill set that I have of creating video content, learning how to run ads, then this is where you need to find a reputable lead vendor. Now, that's part of the reason why I launched Jack Life Insurance, Jack Life Leads. We're now with over 700 agents that are currently in our community. We provide them with leads. We provide them with the sales script. We provide them with softwares and systems, because your goal should be to focus on building your agency, not focusing on the marketing side, right? So I decided to focus on, in the beginning, I did both, where I did marketing and sales, but then I ultimately moved over to marketing and now just have agents who actually handle the sales side. And we provide them with the leads, similar to what we could do for you. So find a reputable lead vendor, because you want to fill your pipeline as fast as possible. Yes, referrals are great. Yes, referrals are great. Yes, warm market is cool, but that's never going to get you to where you want to go fast, right? That's a very slow game. Trust me, because I've done referrals in warm market. Your warm market is going to die out sooner or later. And you're going to have to keep begging your family and friends and people that they know. And then referrals are just slow, right? You may get a referral 2-3 times a week. My goal is to sell 5 to 10 policies a day, right? So with that goal, I said, I can't do that. I gotta produce leads. Like literally, how can I get 10, 15, 20 leads a day coming through my door so I'm able to sell more policies, okay? I did that, right? Then the next thing I did was I got in contact with as many people as possible so I could begin testing my skill set of sales. So remember, my first 30, I had the sales script and I was practicing. Now my goal is to get on the line and start utilizing that script here in the 60 days. And that's what I did. I went to as many people as possible and I said the script live with real prospects who were interested in insurance, okay? And then the goal from there is to be able to record the calls. So I recorded a lot of my phone calls because my goal was to listen back to all of those calls, so I had the ability to make adjustments to the sales script and also make adjustments to my tonality and the way that I'm saying things and how I'm presenting the opportunity of buying life insurance, okay? So that's the goal in that 60 days, volume. You want to focus on as much volume as possible, record the calls and listen back to them, so now you can understand how you sound and pretty much gauge okay, when I did this call, I closed the deal and the client got insurance. When I did it this way, I didn't. And when that person gave me that objection, I wasn't able to answer that. Now I have a better way to answer it. So that's why I'm saying in this 60 days series, from day 60 to 90, volume. As many calls as you possibly can. Have them recorded and listen back to all of them, okay? And like I said, I was making tweaks to my sales scripts throughout that time. And then the last goal is to get as much cash flow as possible in the door between day 60 to day 90. That was my only goal. I need cash flow, which means that I need to talk to as many people as possible, volume. So yes, you are going to have to spend money to be able to get leads in your door, right? It's not going to be cheap. If you're cheap on your leads and you're spending $2, $3, $5, $10 on leads, you're not going to go nowhere far. I said find a reputable quality lead vendor, and it may cost you money, and that's what I did. I dished out a lot of money to be able to produce a lot of leads in my door so I could go through that volume and I could really test things out. And from that point, my goal was to get as much cash flow as possible in the door, which means that I need to close a certain percentage of those deals so that now I can produce the cash flow that's necessary, okay? Now that I've produced the cash flow, AKA commissions, this is where now day 90 on goes, right? What do I do on my 90th day? So here was my goal on day 90 now. Now that I've tested and I've tweaked and I got cash flow coming in because I was practicing that first 30 days, now here on my 90th day, I'm utilizing my money now to be able to create better efficient systems for me to be able to close even more, right? Because money is simply a tool. Don't take your commission and then start using it to blow it on a brand new car, a house, clothes, because that's not what great business people do. And as an agent, you are a business, okay? You have to look at yourself in that manner. So with that, I decided to use all the cash that I earned in commission and I reinvested it into two things. The first thing that I reinvested into was I hired a VA. And the entire purpose of this VA was every time that a lead came through my doors, that VA needed to call within 60 seconds. So as soon as somebody filled it out, VA was calling them. Hey, what's going on? I'm calling on behalf of Prince Donnell and Jack Life Insurance. Hey, yes, you just filled out your information. Let's go ahead and set up an appointment, or let me get you transferred over to Prince Donnell or one of his team members right now to be able to figure out if we can get this process started. The faster I could get in contact with the leads within a matter of 60 seconds, I was getting crazy results. So I got leads coming in, VA calling immediately within 60 seconds, getting connected with the live person, and then boom, I was able to sell so many more policies in a day because of it. Now, if I blew all my cash in the 60th day that I earned, I wasn't able to hire a VA. This is what I'm telling you. Reinvest your commissions in a smarter way, and that was through me hiring a VA on my team. That was first thing that I did. I invested in the VA. Then the second thing I did was I invested into a CRM / follow-up system. So I knew that there were a certain amount of leads that were going to come through the door, and my VA was going to call them and get them on the line, and a certain percentage were going to answer right there on the spot. Well, what about the percentage of people that didn't answer? Well, that's where now I will move all of those to my follow-up software. And then in doing that, I had text message workflows already set up, okay? And I got these workflows set up like 90 days out, which means that once that lead comes into my follow-up system, it sends them text messages for up to 90 days until they finally respond. Now, with that, my follow-up software is sending those text messages and emails, so I don't have to focus on doing that and wasting an hour of my time. And then my VA is calling people that are coming into the door immediately, which means that my only focus is on selling more policies. And as soon as my policy gets sold and I hit submit, I already have the next person ready, either on my schedule, on my calendar, or transferred down from my VA to be able to go to that next policy. And that's how I was able to do 5, 10 plus policies a day. And people were like, Don, how are you doing this? I just had proper systems set up. And I reinvested my money the right way, and I built a real business, a real agency. And that's what I did in my first 90 days, okay? And through that, I was able to achieve massive results. I got awarded by National Life Group for selling some of the most policies across the country. I sold a lot of policies through Mutual, Omaha, a lot of different carriers, and really successful in it. And now, with that, I've moved over to the marketing side. And now we have over 650 agents that we provide leads, We provide them with the quality branded leads that we offer, CRM follow-up systems. So that same follow-up software that we had, we now offer that to 600 plus agents that already has all my workflows already built in, so that now all leads can go straight there and they can utilize it, sell scripts, everything in between, okay? But systems are the name of the game. System stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. And if you could do that, and then you could leverage your money in the right way, you'll be an excellent agent. Don't do what the 95% of agents are doing, which are get their first check and then they blow it on bills or all types of crazy stuff, and then they can't reinvest their funds and they end up quitting the business because they're like, it doesn't work for me, or they're not making any money. Do it the right way. And if you follow this 90-day guideline, then I believe you're going to have a lot more success than most agents that come in this industry. With that being said, to end this out, if you're interested in joining the community that I've launched, providing you with leads, sales scripts, the follow-up software that we offer, and everything in between, then hit the link below. You'll be able to get more information there about how to actually be a part of our community and utilizing our leads and everything associated with that. But I hope this video you found a lot of value through this video, and that you restart your 90 days, right? If you're past 90, restart it again, do it all over, and I guarantee that if you did that over again, you're going to see a much better result than what you're getting now. With that said, I'm Prince Donnell. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video, where I'm going to be providing so much more value to you as an insurance agent. Peace.